Welcome back. You're on Mad About Markets, and today we're talking about the alternative protein industry, expected to be almost $1 billion industry in India within the next 10 years. But right now, it is a nascent industry, and given that it is a nascent industry like all others, it has an own sets of challenges which it has to grapple with. So consumer acceptance is the biggest one, where the industry needs to maintain consumers' interest in these alternative proteins and their willingness to adopt to them, which could be impaired by concerns about sustainability, about health and safety. Then, of course, there's always the risk that the industry could be suddenly transformed by an entirely new technology, such as the creation of foods which are not even based on agricultural inputs at all. So that is something they have to keep up with. Proper regulation of how alternative proteins are made, approved and marketed and labeled is also essential at present. And the global regulatory environment, that is still quite vague and fragmented. Of course, it is developing rapidly with the industry as well. And there are other challenges you have, whether it is ingredient and supply chain disruptions, or impact on industries which are dependent on livestock and so on. So the list of challenges is quite large, given that it is a relatively newer industry. So Ashu, actually at ITC, what do you perceive to be the bigger challenges as someone who's just entered this market?
I think the first is going to be around awareness, which as a challenge and an opportunity per se, as both in the health space and around sustainability. As that continues to grow, I think people become more aware of this space and therefore seek out alternates. With awareness is also linked the fact that do people know enough of this, the product range available? So accessibility is going to be very important. Getting the product to be accessible to a large number of consumers is going to be key. Third is going to be affordability, Ritu. I mean, it's at this point in time, if you just look at the alternate protein space, it is expensive. It is 2 to 3 times more expensive than the current products available in the market. So you need to crack the affordability piece. And I think the fourth, which for me, which is also is very, very important, is around taste. You can get the other three going, but if you don't get the taste right, and if you don't provide consumers with a variety of great tasting products in this space, the format and the category will remain restricted.
Take that point: awareness, access, affordability, and most importantly, taste. But Deepika, what according to you, from a Tata consumer standpoint, are the challenges which are unique in India to promote a product like this? We have our own set of challenges, right?
First, let me start by saying that there is greater opportunity than there is challenge. But the big challenges for us as we start to grow the category in India, number one is, just helping the consumer form the new habit. Right. So we're very encouraged by consumer studies that say that actually 6 out of 10 consumers are very open to buying an alternative meat product. So, but helping them make this journey, really changing the habit in a country like India. So that's the first. The second is cost. Yeah, so ensuring that we are able to provide this at a cost which is very close to the meat substitutes is going to be a big game changer in being able to get penetration for the category. So these two, I think, are the top challenges. The third one I'm a bit more confident about, which is taste. See, we've got to make this change simple for consumers. It's a big change. So as far as the consumer is concerned, the product should taste as good as your meat product does. And I think that's what we're very conscious about.
All right, and that brings us to the bigger question. Can alternative proteins be true mass-based products in the future here or not? And we pose this question to both Sandeep as well as Ashu. Sandeep, take it away.
Being a mass market, company was going to take time for us. I would say we are at least 5 years away from that. And you're right, we cannot be a mass product, nor are we positioning ourselves for that. It's going to take time. So in 5 to 6 years, when there'll be price parity with animal-based product, we could have some chances of being a mass company.
We'll have to wait and see when in terms of how it evolves. And if you're specifically talking of alternate proteins, and as I said, this will of course depend on those 4 key drivers around affordability and taste and accessibility and awareness. And that'll determine how the category evolves. But as we say and as we speak, within that there is a category, as I keep referring to it, in terms of plant-based diets, right? which is a whole set of ingredient-led products. So whether the ingredients are lentil-based, whether the ingredients are pulses-based, whether the ingredients has a part of dairy in it, that's the portfolio which is also going to play an important role. So as you give consumers choices in both these spaces, one is plant-based diets and alternate protein spaces, I think the category will start to see emerge differently over the next few years.
All right, on that note, we are going to wrap up this edition of Mad About Markets. So Ashu, Deepika, Varun, Sandeep, all of you, thank you very much for taking time out and joining us here today.
All right, with that, we wrap up on this edition. See you again, same time next week.
This is a new India, one that